Welcome back, trainers, and you guys really enjoyed my Mawile video yesterday. So like I told you, I was going to be completely maxing out this Shadow Mawile here. So a lot of you were asking on Twitter after I did post that kind of end of battle video, what are the IVs, and it's actually going to be 11313. It's pretty high ranked, and when I do get it to best buddy at level 41, it is going to be 1499. So right under the Great League and looking perfect, guys. And the performance, I'm going to tell you, wow, it is absolutely phenomenal. So there are some trade-offs. Like we know for Shadow Pokemon, they are getting that boost in attack, but they're also going to be having lower defense now. And that plays in many factors. Is it going to be falling that much faster? In some situations, yes, but testing it out in many battles, as we're going to be taking a look at here, it didn't fall as fast as you would think it would fall. And so I'm going to be running Fire Fang, Power Punch, and Play Rough. I did say Iron Head on my non-Shadow form. I just wanted to try Play Rough because with the buff and attack, it's going to be hitting a lot of things very hard, even if they resist it. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into this. If you missed my last video doing a little bit of a comparison with the regular Mawile to the Shadow, I'll put a card at the top or link in the description so you can go ahead and check that one out. You guys really smashed the like button on that. I really appreciate it. I also really appreciate all of the birthday wishes. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I can't be doing this without you. So I really appreciate all the support, guys. And let's smash the like button for completely maxing out a Shadow Pokemon, guys. I just want to bring you the performance so you can see what the hype is about. Is it a gimmick? Is it something you actually want to do? I'm going to tell you right now, it's not cheap, guys. This costed me over 406,000 Stardust, including the 90,000 secondary move. So yeah, quite a steep investment, and a lot of candies as well. I had enough. I didn't have to put any rare candies in there, so we're looking good. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. This is absolutely amazing. I did a ton of battles. We're going to be looking at all of them here, and I had so much fun. So many close battles. Got me hype. After the battles, I would jump up and be like, yeah, I can't believe I pulled it off with the Mawile in that specific situation. I'm so happy I was able to just bring you guys these battles here. Anyways, let's focus here. All right, so we're gonna take the win, I think. No, not this one, not even. So they're gonna be able to come in here and take me out. So this was the trial battles, testing it out. So we're gonna be able to get a little bit more professional as we get more into these battles here. So we go up against our opponent here. I do believe we're going to be battling this guy 3 times, but don't worry, we have a diverse set of trainers down the line here. So starting it off with the Azumarill here, and then we're going to be switching into the Mawile. Now the thing about his team is, after I did battle him, I realized everything is going to kind of be weak to Mawile. The Altaria is not necessarily going to be weak to the Fire Fang or Power Punch, but the Play Rough is going to be hitting hard here. Let's go ahead and see if this actually gets through. Had a little lag, and there's a lot of people who backed out after facing the Mawile because they realized like what situation they were in and how much damage it was doing. So I do believe he backs out here. All right, so we take that win. Like I said, we're going to be battling him 3 times. Let's see how he decides to switch this up. I didn't switch my team, he didn't switch his team, and knowing at this point what his whole team is composed of, I know exactly what I need to do. Wait for this Doom Desire to go through and then switch into the Mawile, because like we just discussed, anything he switches into is going to be in danger here. So he does bring out his Altaria, and we can take a Sky Attack fairly well, but Mawile, being the Shadow, lower defense is already squishy. Mawile itself isn't the biggest defensive Pokemon around, even though it is resisting those Dragon as well as flying moves. So we do decide to shield it up, and we bait the shield with a Power Punch, making our Fire Fang even stronger. Now, you could totally run Bite. Bite is an amazing move. I consider myself a Mawile type of trainer. I've used it quite a bit, especially with Bite. But I decided to go with Fire Fang because of the coverage that I can get. If I go up against an Azumarill, it's not going to be looking great. I do have my own Azumarill as well as a Venusaur to help me counter those. But we have those other Registeels. We have the Venusaur here, but look at how much damage the Venusaur is taking from Fire Fang. Able to take it out with Play Rough. We do a ton of damage to the Jirachi, and we have a little bit of lag. Nope, that's actually them backing out. All right, so pretty amazing stuff. And as we get deeper and deeper into these battles, I do feel like some of them are going to become more and more intense and closer down to the wire. So we have our next opponent. We have an Altaria lead. This is good for us. We're looking fantastic. We can go for the play rough, but that's going to take a while. And by that time, they probably would have a clue that something big is going to be happening here. So it's probably going to be within my best interest to shield it up, in which they do. So it's probably would have been better for me to go for the Power Punch. They switch into a Swampert, and our answer to that on our team is going to be Venusaur, of course. We all know the situation here. Swampert is going to be crying because it is going to be 4 times weak to grass. I already knew he was possibly going to shield that up. Thought he might let it go, but I already knew that I didn't have to hit all the bubbles to take it out. I do decide to let the Swampert take us out because we can just go back in here with our Azumarill and farm it down. We know there's an Altaria in the back, and then he reveals that he has a Registeel, and I was just, a big grin went on my face like, yeah, let's go. The Mawile is going to be able to still take this out. If I switch in and he goes into Altaria, I'm still going to be comfortable with that Altaria up against my Mawile. So we make the switch here, and they switch too, and we're just going to go ahead and go for play rough, folks, and take out that Altaria, and then they do back out. All right, Mawile is making people rage quit. No offense to anybody. I mean, it's perfectly fine to back out. The match is basically lost. I mean, to save everybody time, right? This is a horrible situation. Going up against Typhlosion threw me off a little bit. And then, so we switch into Azumarill, and then they go into Cresselia. I was like, huh, this isn't looking great. The Azumarill can face off against the Cresselia for sure. But then they have the Typhlosion in the back, which both Mawile and Venusaur are going to be weak to. So I was like, I don't know. This one doesn't look too good, but let's see how this plays out here. So I could have went for a Hydro Pump and they wouldn't have shielded. That would have been great. But I thought they might have shielded it, but they didn't. So they take us out with Future Sight. I go in here with Mawile thinking, okay, maybe I'll be able to get off a couple of Power Punches onto that Typhlosion. I knew he's going to bring it in. They are resisting the Fire Fang, of course. We're shielding that up using our first shield, and here comes the Power Punch, and it's going to make our attack stronger as it does raise your attack. And then they switch into an Azumarill, and we immediately switch into our Venusaur, but it's not looking great because they still have 2 shields on their end, and we're looking, no shields. All right, unshielded Venusaur up against a 2-shielded Azumarill, not a situation you want to be in. So I go ahead and hit these bubbles thinking that he might let it go through. They block it. They're down to no shields at this point. But yeah, we're going to be getting taken out with the Hydro Pump. Well played. On to our next opponent here. So I tested out going in with Mawile first a few times. It can work okay, but I personally like leading with Azumarill with this specific team composition here with the Mawile and the Venusaur in the back for coverage. So going up against Swampert, we have to watch out for Earthquake. We have to watch out for Sludge Wave. We do decide to let that go through. They did, in fact, use a shield at this point, and I knew this was too quick. It's going to be a Hydro Pump or Hydro Cannon, and we will be able to survive. So what we're going to simply do is preserve our shields, get off a Hydro Pump, and we survive. And they use the shield. Now, at this point, I'm going to let them gain their little energy there because we are going to go in with Mawile so we do not have switch advantage, or so they do not have switch advantage, right? And getting ready for the switch here, they do not switch, which kind of indicates to me that they have something in the back weak to Mawile. So I just put the pressure on here, staying in the fight. I think I shield this up here because of the fact that I know there's something in the back weak to the Mawile, and I was right. And there's going to be an Altaria here. So this is going to be a bit tricky. I have no more shields, right? And we are kind of squishy. We will be able to tank this Sky Attack, though, and survive. But I don't think we're going to be able to get to another play rough. So what we're going to do is switch into our Venusaur, let it absorb the Sky Attack. Unfortunately, the Altaria is able to farm us down. We're able to get to a Frenzy Plant, which is going to do good chip damage, I suppose. But that Altaria basically has a Sky Attack ready to go. And what we do is we go for Power Punch immediately, and they make a very clean switch to sack their Registeel and absorb that charge move, and then bring in their Altaria to finish this off with Sky Attack. That was very well played. If they didn't do that, they probably would have lost that one. So good stuff there. So into our next battle, we're leading with the Azumarill, of course, and we're met by a Meganium. Not great. So I decide to make a switch into Mawile, a somewhat safe option. They are countering us with Azumarill, and we're going to go ahead and go for that play rough. doing a lot of damage to that Azumarill. So at this point, I do believe I just let the Mawile go down. It did a good amount of damage, and we're able to at least get off a power-up punch to just do that much more damage to it. They use a shield, which is even better. That's just great right there. Using a shield on a power punch against an Azumarill, thinking that we're going to be hitting them with another play rough. So they hit us with a play rough on our Azumarill. So I was thinking I'm going to, almost farm it down, but gain a little bit of energy to hit the Meganium with Ice Beam. But they do make a switch sooner than expected, which is okay. Hitting us with that saved up energy with Frenzy Plant. And I know obviously another Frenzy Plant is going to be on the horizon here. And of course we do shield it up to let our Azumarill do some more Ice Beam damage, taking out that Meganium. And now the mystery is what they have in the back, but they're bringing in their Azumarill here. So we're going to be able to tank a play rough and survive with energy, going in with our Venusaur and finishing it off. They do bring in a Registeel, so this is not a good situation. This is where I need my Mawile, folks. All right, so Venusaur is going to be taking a ton of damage from this Flash Cannon. We're able to at least continue to do chip damage with the Venusaur here. And we know in the back that our Azumarill has energy, not quite enough for a Hydro Pump. The Ice Beam at this point is not really going to KO the Registeel. I get a little nervous and I just go for the Ice Beam. I could have built up to Hydro Pump looking back on this now. And we're unable to take it out. They finish us off with quick moves. So very close games here. As I said, testing out the Mawile here. And now we are met with a Melmetal here against our Azumarill, and I was just hoping, please don't have Thunderbolt. It's Rock Slide. Okay, still not the best because it's going to be able to spam us, but at the same time, we're going to be able to get that Hydro Pump, which is going to basically KO that Melmetal there. So we are going to be going for the Hydro Pump, hoping to get this through, and they shield it up. All right, so that's fine. At this point, the Mawile is going to be putting in work. So we're not going to use any shields. They used one shield. So I'm banking on hopefully they have something else weak to Mawile in the back. I figure they're going to be going for a superpower here, and we're going to be preserving that on our Mawile. Although we are part Fairy, we're also part Steel, and we will take a decent amount of damage from that power-up punch. And we're going to be going for a play rough, thinking that they used a shield, they're not going to use another one, but they decide to use it. So I was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and catch this Thunderbolt here, seeing that the Rock Slide would have not been very effective to Mawile. I figured they're going for that. And now we can try to feint down this Deoxys with our Venusaur here. And we get very close, but then they decide to back out. So they figure that they're going to lose that match with the Mawile and then the Venusaur there. So, all right, moving into the next one, we're met with a Registeel. So I don't really remember what I do here. I think I wait for them to use their charge, and then I switch. Or I'm just going to go for Hydro Pump. No shield, let them take us out, because we know we can tank 2 Flash Cannons. And that Registeel does not like to see Hydro Pump. It's not going to KO it at this range, but it's going to bring it fairly low. So I figured go for 2 Hydro Pumps, and they switch into Azumarill immediately to catch that Hydro Pump. Very, very nice. But we're going to be able to respond with our Venusaur here. And I want you to see what happens here. This is really whack. I actually set myself up to win this. I can't say 100% I would have won, but you be the judge here. We run into some incredible baloney lag. I had a ton of energy. We let that go through intentionally to preserve his shield, and I would have been able to KO that Azumarill, but I'm not able to tap on it, and all of a sudden I faint out. And at this point, I just back out because I don't want to keep playing a broken match like that, as you've seen there. Set myself up nice, and then the game just ripped it away. I ran into that a few times, as well as the game just crashing on me in a winning scenario. And I recorded the whole shutdown situation where the game just crashed, and then me going back into the app. So we start off with Azumarill. They were in with Shiftery. We switch into Mawile, in which they respond with Skarmory. Yet again, something Mawile is going to be able to absolutely rip and tear through. Love this thing, guys. You can see the performance is actually not very gimmicky. It's really putting in work, and it is actually winning very well. Now, this is amazing. I love this. Play rough, one-shotted the Poliwrath. They were not expecting that. I mean, the Mawile just hit him by surprise, and as you can see, they still have 2 shields, and the Mawile is able to take the win almost solely. So, pretty amazing. There are situations like that where people are preserving their shields, and then they're not expecting certain moves, and by the time the battle's over, they still have 2 shields. you know, getting ready for the end game, but things were just hitting them really hard and unexpectedly. So we are in the Mawile versus the Registeel situation here, something that I wanted a lot of you to see because Registeel is a very used Pokemon in the Great League. And look at the amount of damage that we're just doing here. And we're going to go ahead and tank this. It does a lot of damage, almost KOing us. That is the downfall to having that lower defense, as well as Mawile being slightly squishy, but it was able to do its job. And we're able to go in here with our Azumarill and pick up the win, possibly here. Not saying I won yet. So we're going to go for that Ice Beam. They still have 2 shields, and I was a little confused. I was like, shouldn't they have shielded that up? I mean, what do they have at the end that they're trying to like endgame me with? It's a Venusaur, so maybe they're just banking on the Venusaur to take the win with 2 shields. And let's see how this plays out. So we're going to be switching into our Venusaur to catch the Frenzy Plant that I knew they were going to throw at our Azumarill, and we do. And that helped us, you know, pull up a win quite significantly, not enabling us to have to use a shield. And we're going to be going for that Sludge Bomb there. And they still have a shield left, so we do get baited, but that's fine. We have to play it safe at this point. No need to get greedy. We still have the Azumarill in the back with the Ice Beam, so we're looking great. And we have no more shield, so I'm expecting a Sludge Bomb. Very good. And now we're going to be able to hit it with the Ice Beam. I was hoping they were going to do a Sludge Bomb. I was like, because they didn't shield with their Altaria. I thought it was like somebody who didn't really know what they were doing. No disrespect, but they knew what they were doing. So we're going to be met by a Sphylis here. So we can stay in this fight, wait for them to switch. They're going into Registeel. Like, yeah, boy, let's go Mawile. Fire Fang and Power Up Punch for the win. But like we've seen, we're going to have to shield one up. Not really have to shield one up since we're going to be resisting the Lock-On, which is normal because Lock-On is, you know, not doing a bunch of damage, but it can fade you down when you're really low, right? So Focus Blast very close, but we're able to finish it off without even an animation of the bite kind of Fire Fang deal. So the Sphylis takes us out. We're going to, of course, go in here with our Azumarill here. Ice Beam. They do decide to shield it up. They really want to preserve that Sphylis, and they're going to be getting points for unique picks for bringing that into the Go Battle League for sure. That's awesome. They do swap into the Azumarill, and we're getting that Frenzy Plant through, Ice Beaming us. I usually let that go through because Venusaur can survive it. We don't need to waste a shield as long as the Venusaur does its job, which it did, and that was to take out the Azumarill, doing a bunch of damage to this Sphylis Dragon type, which is resisting it. It's just kind of a little bit squishy. Venusaur's Frenzy Plant is OP. And in this situation here, it's basically a win for me. Can't guarantee it yet, but I mean, it's an obvious situation. I have a shield left. I do decide to let this go through. It was getting a little close. I was getting a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. Last night, I was like, I knew I was going to possibly win it, but I was like, it's getting close to those body slams. So we do shield the last one very close there. And we're able to get to our Ice Beam barely and take out that Sphylis there. So good stuff. Moving into the next battle. Absolutely love this Mawile, guys. I'm having a blast, and I cannot wait to go and test it out later today for my sets as well. So we are met by a Haunter. Okay, so I figured there's probably not a Sludge Bomb on this thing, so I don't really need to worry about that. We're going to go ahead and let this go through, thinking we're going to see a Shadow Punch bait, and that's exactly what it is. So what we're going to do is actually let this go through again to preserve our shields, because we know we can get off another Ice Beam here, or we should be able to, but unfortunately, no, they're going to be hitting us with another Shadow Punch, but that's perfectly fine. We don't need to use our shields there, and we're going to go ahead and go in with Mawile and finish off that Haunter, and hope they have something in the back weak to this. So they bring in Deoxys. I was like, counter's doing okay damage to me. What can I do here? Power Punch is not going to do anything. Let's just go for the play rough here. Hopefully they let this go through. And they do. Wow, let's go. So we've used a shield. They've used a shield. They have one Pokemon, Venusaur. So it's like, okay, Power Punch and do as much damage with the Fire Fang as possible before we switch. And they have that nice clone Venusaur. Points for that as well. So let's see how this plays out here. Gonna be hitting us with a Frenzy Plant, possibly trying to bait out our last shield. And we're going to go ahead and go for the Frenzy Plant because the Venusaur is already low enough. But they do decide to use their last shield because that is their last Pokemon. They have to preserve that health, of course. We're going to be shielding this up. Another Frenzy Plant bait. At first, I was like, didn't know if they had like a secondary move or they thought Frenzy Plant was okay. But I'm pretty sure they were trying to just bait out that last shield. So I do go for the Sludge Bomb. And I was like, whoa, no damage. But then they back out. I was like, okay. All right, thank goodness. So moving into the next one, we have quite a few battles here, guys. I wanted to really give you an in-depth look at Mawile, completely maxed out in its shadow form, so you can have a good understanding. I didn't want to bring you just a handful of sets because, you know, you can get a good reading, but I want a definite good reading for you, a good understanding as to where this thing is standing as far as usability. And right now, you know, you cannot get that frustration off of it anymore. You had to do it during the Team Go Rocket event for 3 hours, and that was it. Maybe they might bring it back in the future. So if you get a good IV for PvP, then hold on to it. Mine, like I said in the beginning, is a 11313, ranked fairly high, and I'm really happy with that. But is it worth the investment, guys? Is it really worth the almost 500,000 Stardust? I'm going to say, for people who have the dust and like to test out fun things, yes. For people who do not really have too much dust, absolutely not. Just go with the regular one. So this is a horrible, horrible battle for me. All the Pokemon lined up very badly, and they are dancing around this whole battle very well, and it's not looking good, right? So we do have the Mawile out here, at least. It's going to be strong against the Skarmory, but let's see what we can do with it. Should be able to take it out. This is not going to do that much damage. I decided to let it go through and preserve that shield for the very, very late game here with their last Pokemon. And they're bringing in that Whiscash. Now, this is just bad for the Mawile. Fire Fang, not very effective. Power Punch, not doing much damage. Getting to play rough, way too much energy. Plus, they have a shield. So, we're taking a loss on this one here. Can't win them all, guys. Can't win them all. All right, so I do believe this is the one that crashes on me. So, we have a great lead. This is great. All right, so they do decide to switch into Swampert, and I was like, okay, perfect. This is why we have that Venusaur. So, you know, Venusaur is going to do its thing against the Swampert, take it out. I'm expecting the Altaria to come back in, and I'm just going to go for a Sludge Bomb, but just let the Venusaur go down. It's going to get one-shotted by the Sky Attack. Now we can answer with the Mawile or the Azumarill. I decided to go with the Azumarill. Because you never know what they have in the back. I may need to save the Mawile for a possible Registeel. So as you can see, this is a very much so winning scenario for me, and then the game crashes. Right. So I quickly rush back in because sometimes I might pick up where I was at, right? Let's see what happens. I go back into the Go Battle League. Oh, come on. And it just puts me right back into matchmaking. So that guy got a win, or maybe he's just frozen in there. So sorry to that. I mean, it's not my fault. The game crashed, so that sucks. That's 2 battles that I've lost because of the lag. And I could have won 5 out of 5 if those errors did not occur throughout the video, right? All right, so they did lead with Deoxys, and I was leading with Mawile. They decided to switch, although I think there's still a winning situation for them. So they go into Azumarill, then we're going to be going into our Venusaur, taking that Ice Beam here, preserving our shields. And they're actually used a shield at this point, and they're using another one. So I was like, okay, they want to burn their shields like that. That's fine. At this point, we're going to have to go with the Mirror with our own Azumarill. And I was thinking I have to build up to about 2 Hydro Pumps so I can combat what they do have behind this. If I want to pull this win up at this point, because them shielding their Azumarill twice actually was a really good play. At the time, I was thinking was not that great of a play. But it turns out it really did help them out. So we're going to go for that Hydro Pump. The Ice Beam's not doing enough, and I don't want them to keep chip damaging me away. Since they have no more shields, we have 2. We're definitely going to be shielding up this Rock Slide here. We're going to be going for the Hydro Pump. I'm not sure if I make an immediate switch after this. I do. Okay, and we're going for the Power Punch. Very nice, very nice. Getting as much damage as possible. Doesn't do much, right, because it's part Psychic and very defensive, that Deoxys defense form. They're going for a Psycho Boost, baiting my shield out. Then they bring in the Registeel. All right, so let's see what we can do here. So we have no more shields. We know that this is going to take us out, and you can basically guess how this is going to play out now. We do have an Azumarill with very low health and not able to get to Hydro Pump. And yeah, this is a game over. So they were able to take the win. So shielding their Azumarill twice in that scenario was great. So if you did enjoy this video, trainers, please give it a big thumbs up. And I hope you enjoyed this test run of the Shadow Mawile. I'm going to let this last battle play out with some music because I found it to be one of the most epic battles I did have using the Mawile, and a great kind of display as to how the performance does work. Anyways, traders, again, if you did enjoy this video, give it a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching so much, and thank you for all of the birthday wishes. You guys are all too kind. Take care, trainers.
College. The virus has since spread throughout the state of Pennsylvania. It is believed that it will spread to adjacent states within the next 12 hours. Some of the affected persons are turning into zombie-like creatures.